What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Derrick Rose going to the Clippers, as the Knicks and the Clippers are both interested in Derrick Rose, which is not a surprise because he still is showing that he can be productive. And obviously, he's in the pursuit of an NBA championship as he is now in the later part of his career. And Detroit has got off to such a terrible start, which I kind of expected them to be bad and not to make the playoffs because they just didn't have enough talent and their pieces just didn't fit right. So for them to be thinking about blowing it up, I'm not really surprised that they'll try to get some picks or something in return for some of their veterans that may want to leave next year and they want to get something for them. Obviously, I don't think that it'll be a priority to trade them to the Clippers because you're not really going to get much compared to if you trade them to the Knicks. But the Pistons do need some young talent, or they do need some valuable picks that can help them rebuild and possibly get a better chance of getting a superstar, as they did not draft well the last couple of years compared to other teams. But the more swings you get, the more chances you get, the better chance of you actually getting one. And with the Knicks not being terrible enough this year compared to the prior seasons, it's going to be harder to get that number one pick. But, the season isn't over. We don't know how they're going to finish. We don't know what's going to happen with them just yet. But, at least we know that the Clippers are going to be one of the best teams if they can stay healthy, because they have been that the last couple years. And this year is no different. I did have them finishing at the second of the Western Conference this year, and that's where they at right now. So having a little boost wouldn't really kill them, depending on what they give up to get Derrick Rose. Is it a necessity to get Derrick Rose? No, because you'll have to fit in, and you'll have to find ways to play him with certain players and certain lineups, because you already have guys like Lou Williams and Luke Kennard and Reggie Jackson that come off the bench that can have a similar role, if not better. Because I know you look at Derrick Rose's numbers and you look at he's getting you 14 and 4, but that's in a bigger role because he's in Detroit where they use him a lot more and they need him to produce at that level off the bench every game, especially since Killian Hayes is gone. He gets more of the opportunity at that guard position, and that's not obviously going to be there if he goes to a team like the Clippers. Now, if he goes to a team like the Knicks, I wouldn't be surprised because they have Tom Thibodeau, and he loves bringing his guys from Chicago down to wherever he goes. He brought Taj Gibson before. He obviously made the trade for Jimmy Butler to go to Minnesota, and he also brought in other guys other than that in Minnesota. So it's not really a surprise that he's going for Derrick Rose. I think the Knicks could use Derrick Rose more than a team like the Clippers, because the Knicks do need that extra scoring buff. They also need that extra creator and a guy that can consistently come at them and create for the young guys, and even guys like Mitchell Robinson to be able to get dump offs, because their Rose is still explosive enough to, create chaos when he's going full speed. And I know his jump shot not where it was a couple years ago, especially with the Knicks, but he is still showing that he's fearless with his scoring ability, and he has to just stay healthy. But the Knicks definitely can use another scorer and another creator, as they really only have guys like Austin Rivers and Alec Burks that can bring that to the table currently for their team. And adding another one for basically nothing will only help them. And they still do have things they have to figure out. What are they going to do with Julius Randle? Is they going to keep him? Is they going to try to extend him? Is they going to try to trade and get something for him? Or do they want to go all in on trying to be a seventh or eighth seed in the NBA Eastern Conference playoffs, which nobody would have thought that they would have been, but they're right there. And adding Derrick Rose would just help them go in that direction, which isn't a terrible thing, but it's probably better off if the Knicks stay competitive and miss and try to get a lottery pick and trade in some young player or a pick to try to make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference and then just get put out in the first round. But Tibbs want to compete. He want to show these young guys the value of, good habits and having the right mentality. He's not trying to tell them to lose and not play their best basketball and not try to go out there and win games. He's doing what a coach is supposed to do, and that's produce results. And the results that you want them to produce is wins. And I think that that's something that they didn't have the last couple of years, that they have been one of the worst teams in the NBA every single season, if not the worst. And this year is so good for the fans. They have hope, they have belief, and they actually have something to talk about and be excited about. And adding Derrick Rose, who had, some a good season with the Knicks, really showing that he can be a productive player, really showing that he has something left in the tank when it looked like he was done in Cleveland. And we thought that he would be out of the league the next 1 or 2 years, but obviously that's not the case with him this year in Detroit and also that year in New York. So maybe Derrick Rose wants to go there. I don't really see him, asking for a trade to go to New York because I don't really think that that's a priority of him. If you want to be traded, you want to go to a better situation. You should want to be traded and be able to go to a situation where you can win a title. So it makes more sense for him to want to go to the Clippers, even though he's going to have a reduced role and he's not going to be able to play that much compared to what he would be able to do for the Knicks. But it's all ultimately up to Derrick Rose. Like, what is your desires? What do you want? What are you trying to accomplish? And what matters most for you? Because if he stays in Detroit, he's going to have the same opportunity that he has with the Knicks, and he's having a good season. People had looked at him as a six-man of the year last year, but he ultimately came home with really nothing to show for the season that he had. But besides, a lot of people love to see Derrick Rose doing well and actually staying healthy and actually contributing at a high level. So I honestly want to see what's next for them. I honestly want to see what's next for Derrick Rose, and at the end of the day, it's going to be interesting to see what ultimately happens with him. If you Troy Weaver, you just try to go get the best value, regardless if it's the Knicks or the Clippers. These are teams that's interested in him, but that don't honestly means he's going to go to either one. I was just talking about, based off the rumor and the report. But if I had to be honest, I probably would trade him to another team just because you want to be able to, help your chances of rebuilding as a team like Detroit that looks like they're in a no man's land to a higher extent, as they don't really have any young superstars or any young promising players that I'm crazy about. And honestly and truthfully, this draft has a lot of good guys in that top five, top seven that can really produce and be good. And they're on their way to be able to get one because they're so bad this year in Detroit. But having more swings at the tree only really helps your chance of being great in the future. So, if I'm Detroit, getting a couple more picks in these last in these next 2 to 3 drafts couldn't be the worst thing. And I think that that should be something that's a priority. But not only trading Blake Griffin, they should try to trade a couple more guys on this roster. I know they thought that they had a shot. I know they thought that they'd be better than what they are right now, but I didn't. And, it's different when you see what you do in the offseason and actually see how they produce on the court. And now that we have seen that they're not really going to go anywhere, they're not going to be a playoff team, now they're trying to go in a different direction as they basically out of the race because they got off to such a bad start. And I don't really see a player available right now that can help them be better with the assets they currently have at their disposal. Other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that likes on Facebook. Thanks for everybody that continues to check it out. Also, if you don't want to support, you can also just like and share on YouTube. The more you like and share, the more people can see it, the more people can reach it. That can help the channel grow. If you do want to support the channel, I have merchandise on sale on my Facebook page. You can change the color of that, change the color of the shirt, customize them the way you want it to be, and basically me not get shipped out. So you can also buy merchandise on my spread shirt. Also, if you're new to the channel, I upload every single day, 7 days a week, no days off, about breakdowns of players, legends, rookies, coaches. Also, the discussions of the hottest topics, summer league coverage, top 10 listed season previews, discussions of the playoffs, and also NBA draft coverage. So if you love basketball, you can't get enough. I have over 2,000 videos on my channel. So if you want to check those out, please do. And at the end of the day, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out. And let me know what you guys think about Derrick Rose. Should he go to the Knicks? Should he go to the Clippers? Or should he go to a different team like the Lakers and try to win a title in his 30s while he can still play and contribute? Or should he just continue to grind it out and put up some numbers and show that he can still play and just, continue to try to stay healthy and probably chase for the title a couple years from now, probably 1 or 2 years from now. Whatever you think, let me know in the comment section below. I read every comment. Enjoy the rest of y'all day.